know if it's always good to be like reading the news all the time. I have no idea.
I think not. Honestly, like people are meant to function at a local level. That becomes abundantly clear with time. Like,
Yeah.
we don't have any conceptualization of how many people are in the US? Like 338 million? How are you going to conceptualize 338 million people? Like,
I like that. I like how you're gonna go for like the round number, and then you're just like 338.724 million.
I'm nothing if not exact, okay? But yeah, it's strange. You just get caught up in a lot of stuff that you can't control, and that gets kind of demoralizing after a little bit. And that's when you start getting like really, really extreme reactions to stuff. That's when you start feeling like, all right, if I can't do anything at a national level, then I'm just gonna have to make the biggest impact I possibly can with the like most extreme rhetoric, with the most extreme, like Twitter-worthy headlines, to cut through all of the noise.
I think so.
We're at a local level. It's just like, just chill. You know, people know you, and you can just talk.
I think we were talking about like this like person like controlling the narrative. Mm-hmm. I think that's like a way in which I could see that actually being a reality, because so much of like how we can actually change what affects us would just be going to like your like talking to like your local assembly person and just talking what's going on in like your neighborhood, what's going on in your district. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think the political parties have like a vested interest in nationalizing politics, and because I think it gives them more power, and I think the media kind of plays into that, because I don't know. I think it's interesting. It's exciting to see like these things going on like this grand scale. Like, what is the Supreme Court going to say, about like, access to Trump's financial records? Like, it's really exciting. The idea of like impeaching the president or getting to see, like what he was seeing the numbers. But and so that's why the media wants to get those eyeballs on that. But then is it actually like telling us all that much that's actually going to affect us? I don't know. I don't know about that.
I guess my question is like, well, not my question, but I think that is the establishment, right? Like the government and the media. So like I feel like they're working in concert.
I don't think they're working in concert. I don't think like Pelosi and like the reporters. I don't know. I mean, they are shaking hands probably.
Maybe not like that intimately, but like the industries work together.
They both benefit from the same things,
right?
And so that kind of fucks over the public.
Us, yeah.
By like simplifying things, sensationalizing things, and it takes away our attention from just like what's going on right here.
Right.
You fuckers got me into a conspiracy theorist now.
I'm sure there are many conspiracies within journalism, just because I'm thinking like, if you're working in Washington for like 20 plus years, and you end up being like the desk chief of the Washington Post or the New York Times or some other big newspaper, you're gonna build up rapport with some of the people who are here. Like, there's a very big thing about the Washington establishment. They're established because they just stay forever. Like, the average age of Congress is what, like 70 something? Then you put
and these people get in young, and
exactly, and they just stay.
Like you get in your 20s and 30s, and and you're just there, and like they all know each other, and like they have dinner together, and like it's kind of
So the journalists just like, they build rapport. You start to figure out like, I kind of like this guy. He helped me out like 15 years ago, and with the big story that like helped move me forward. So maybe you start to feel like, I don't want to report on my friend too badly, or I want to protect this relationship. And then it all just gets incestual. It all just like you start losing the point of journalism and you get caught up in protecting connections. It's a conspiracy, man. It all comes back to conspiracy.
Yeah, because the thing is then a lot of then what you'll have is like that like because that's not always true, but they're selective about their messaging and like who they want to talk to, and yeah.
I think what Dom was also saying, to me, it kind of reminded me of like the Jeffrey Epstein case, where like I forgot, I think it was Time, where they wanted to have this story put out about Jeffrey Epstein, and I think like I don't know if he was like the editor-in-chief or something, but he completely just like knocked the whole thing down. He was like, that's not happening.
Yeah, that was so fucking creepy. So
it was because they were friends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was so creepy. Like the reporter, like she just wanted to know, oh, there's this like, I guess he's a billionaire, and you know he seems like he's this like socialite, and you know you see him at all the parties, but like nobody knows actually where he got his money from.
Which is
and,
crazy to me, because
right.
like anyone else, they would get IRS in their ass and be like, what the fuck are you doing with all this money?
Mm-hmm.
How are you getting this? And he was just like, everyone was okay with not knowing how he attained all this money.
So she went did some digging on him, and she ended up finding, you know, hearing these rumors about him, and then she wanted to publish them. And then when she took it, like, and then the editor basically just like killed all the parts of it that were, you know, investigations into anything scandalous he was doing. And it just ended up being this piece about this guy who, you know, is just like really charming and charismatic and da-da-da-da. And it was just like, what? Like, that's where it gets really fucking creepy. And yeah, it's like really incestual. And it's just like, fuck. Like, even that's why people don't trust the media.
That is exactly why. Like, as you say that, It's so easy for me to just imagine like one of those scenes from those old school crime movies where, you know, the young rookie cop comes walking into the chief's office like, boss, I just found this massive bust, and then like the police chief's like writing something. It's just like, son, why don't you take a seat? Let's have a talk really quick. Let's figure this out. It's exactly like that. Like when you're entrenched in power, you want to protect that power.